go into combat. Not a word was said where we were going. Nobody knew about Iwo Jima. Nobody but the President and Admiral Nimitz. They were the only two that knew. And we had a big convoy. And it took us about a week to get to Saipan. And from Saipan we went on LSTs. That's a small ship that carries about 1 company of men and about 6 alligators. And you go up on the beach with tracks, you go over the side. Well, it took us another week and a week and a half to get 1 day out of Iwo Jima, and we found out finally where we were going. And a skipper came up on top, and he had a clay model with every one of us. And he explained everything about Iwo Jima that he knew. He knew there were roughly 22,000 Japanese on the island. He didn't know anything else about it. And we were told to take as many prisoners as we could so they could gather the information. So we took off. We got there 1 day out. It was explained, and we got orientation again, and we had breakfast the next morning, and we could see everything going on. There was Iwo. The Navy and the ships, plane and ships were bombing the daylights out of it. And we watched that. They brought chow up topside, and believe it or not, the first time I had was a steak in the Marine Corps. They furnished it. It was a steak and eggs. And I said to a kid next to me, I said, "What's with the steak and egg? We never got this before." He said, "Graves, use your head. What do they do with convicts before they execute them?" I got the point. Well, then we were told to go down below. We jumped into these alligators. I carried a 72-pound flamethrower. I had a man on my left and on my right. They helped me up in. I rolled over inside. We took off out the mouth. We rallied around for about a half hour, and then our wave went in, the third wave. And we went in next to Suribachi. We were to secure that mountain, pursue across the neck of it, and then head north and join the other 2 divisions. Away we went. We're heading in, and those rifle shots, those over our head cracking, just cracking. But luckily nothing hit us. As we got closer, I heard about 2 or 3 times a sound that was like a swoosh, swoosh, just like that. And I stuck my head up and looked out in the back, and another one went off. They were using artillery from the island and hitting our landing craft like we were in, and they shot the heck out of about 3 of them. Well, we finally reached the sand, and over the board, the Navy boy says, overside. I crawled up, and my 2 buddies pushed me off. I went in the water up to my waist. I had my flamethrower on the back. They helped me up on my feet. We moved into the first sandbar and fell flat on our faces, and we were jammed. We could not get over the top. Every time a Marine went up there, he dropped from up at Mount Suribachi right there, only 500 and some feet away. I buried my face in the sand. I was scared to death. When I looked up, word was passing through that John Basilone got killed to my right. He was sniped by a sniper. Finally, we edged up to the next tier. Then we got to the top tier, and we lost a few more men. I moved up. I lost my 2 men that were supposed to help me, and I turned left and headed for Suribachi, rolled over in a shell hole, and that was where we stayed during the night. Now, here's an interesting thing. From the top of the beach to the base of Suribachi was 545 feet. It took us 3 days to get there. We finally reached the base the next day, the 3rd day. Well, that's when the flag business came into view. We worked ourselves up. By the time we got to the crest top, they put the flag up. It was a beautiful sight, just a beautiful sight. Every ship in the bay, 500 of them, opened up with tracers and rockets in the air. Our boys that have gone up by the first airstrip ahead of us, they opened up with whatever they had. But it only infuriated the Japanese, and they fought all the harder. That was the taking of the beach at Iwo Jima on February 19th at 8 o'clock in the morning. But that's just part of the story.
For more stories from our heroes, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@thevoiceofheroes. Also, join us every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for Hometown Heroes Podcast.